everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, it's appreciated. Let me start off by just saying Happy New Year's to each and every one of you. 23 is out the door. In comes 24. So what that means is out with the old, in with the new. My New Year's resolution is to continue to be me. Everybody else is already taken. That's pretty much my New Year's resolution every year, just to continue to be me. If I can give a little advice for the new year, starting off the new year, is to try your best to remove any negative energy out of your life. Negative energy can and will attach to you. That's a fact. May God continue to bless each and every one of you. Happy New Year. Now let's talk about those Cowboys. On Saturday night, we had the Cowboys versus the Lions. The Cowboys end up winning that game 20-19. The game turned out to be filled with controversy on some plays right at the end, and we'll get to that in a little bit. Just to recap that game, the Cowboys didn't play well on offense, in my opinion. They was driving the ball up and down the field pretty easily, but we wasn't finishing off the drives like we should have, especially with the CD fumble out the end zone. We had a play like that. I think it was the Miami game when we fumbled at the 1 yard line. So plays like that will get you beat, especially in the playoff. So we didn't play really well on offense. There was also some poor clock management, in my opinion, on our last drive. We're throwing the ball on 2nd and 14 when Detroit only has one timeout, and we can just run the ball and try to run the time off the clock. And Dak threw the ball out of bounds, stopped the clock. Detroit was able to hold on to that timeout. So poor clock management right there, and bad play calling. If you want to go ahead and attach that to it as well. So offense didn't come to play. Don't look like we still end up winning the game. Defense played pretty well up until the last drive. Again, like I said last week, I don't have a whole lot of confidence in our defense when the other team have the ball with a chance to win. I felt pretty good about us being up 7, knowing that they could just tie the game up. But Detroit they're so aggressive, they went for 2 instead of just tying the game, trying to send the game in overtime, which ended up backfiring on them, which we will touch on that in just a moment. I just want to jump right into the controversy part of this. Detroit going for 2. One of the players, number 68 on Detroit, was called for a penalty, a legal touch, because the referee said that he didn't report eligible. For the people that don't know what eligible means for a lineman, he's a lineman. He typically can't catch a ball. So when he reports eligible, that means he is available to catch the ball. That has to be reported to the referee. So basically what happens, what I saw, was that Detroit got a little cute. They got a little cute. They sent 3 people to the referee in an effort to deceive Dallas on who was eligible and who was not. So I could clearly hear the referee announce across the PA that number 70 was reporting as eligible, not number 68. Now, if the referee made a mistake on that, if he called the wrong number or what have you, it doesn't negate the fact that Dallas and the whole arena was told that 70 was eligible and not number 68. Y'all remember when we played Philly, I think it was, and we had the exact same call on a lineman not reporting eligible. And if you listen to everybody talk, the player, it's incumbent on the player to make sure that the referee knows that he's reporting eligible. That negated a touchdown for us in Philadelphia, but no one was talking about that. And if you really want to take a look at it, you know, the fix is in, right? That's what everybody's saying. Let's take a look at this article and let's read what the NFL is saying about this. I think they're under more pressure now and they're beginning to change their stance, but this comes from Pro Football Focus. Let's take a look at this article. And the headline on the article says, NFL trying to blame the Lions for egregious officiating error in Cowboys game. And I have the bottom highlighted there. Per a source with knowledge of situation, the NFL does not plan to change the procedure for players reporting as eligible. The league views the situation as an effort by the Lions to engage in deception and gamesmanship that backfired. And that's basically what happened. They was trying to trick the Cowboys and probably end up tricking the refs because of the way they did it. They sent two people to the referee. Then they ran one on the field late, which was number 70. And I guess the ref kind of got confused. And he reported number 70 as eligible and not number 68. So it was a mistake, perhaps, by the referee, but they made a mistake. This is not being talked about. When Dallas last drive, when we was trying to kill the clock, they made a penalty call on Hendershot for tripping. But if you take a look at this graphic here, it wasn't Hendershot that was tripping. It was the Detroit player attempting to trip Tony Pollard. Now, if that was called as a penalty, Dallas would have got an automatic first down. Detroit only has one timeout. We'd have been able to run the time off the clock and end the game right there. And Detroit wouldn't even had an opportunity to get the ball. So, there's that. So going back to the 2-point conversion, even after the penalty was called, they backed them up 7 yards. Why not just kick the extra point and go into overtime? So that was being overly aggressive, in my opinion. Even from the 7-yard line, they wanted to go for 2. And in that play, they got let off the hook because Michael Parsons kind of jumped into the neutral zone at the snap. And when they threw the ball, Dallas actually intercepted the ball. So that saved them. On that, they had 2 additional times because they was able to run the play again instead of kicking the extra point. Then they go for 2 points. I think it was from the 4-yard line and didn't get it. So they lose the game, right there. So a lot of stuff went on in that game. If Dallas caught a break on that, good for us, because we never ever get a break on it. I talked last week about the referees. They've been bad all year for every team. So if we caught a break, good for us. All you haters, I don't care. We caught a break, good for us. So it is what it is. Let's take a look at the game stats. Again, I like to take a look at the skill positions just to see does anything jump off the page that could kind of tell you how the game went. So taking a look at the quarterbacks, Jared Goff, 19 for 34, 271 yards, 1 TD, 2 interceptions. Dak Prescott, 26 for 38, 345 yards, 2 TDs, and 1 interception. The running game, David Montgomery, 14 carries for 65 yards and 1 TD. And Tony Pollard had 16 carries for 49 yards. From a receiver perspective, St. Brown, 6 receptions, 90 yards, 1 TD. CeeDee Lamb went completely off, 13 receptions, 227 yards, and 1 TD. So having said that, overall, pretty good game from beginning to end, other than the controversies. But Dallas did win the game, so I'm pretty happy about that. On to other news in the NFL. Philadelphia Eagles hosted the Arizona Cardinals, and the Eagles end up losing that game 35-31, I think it was. Eagles was up 21-6 at the half, I believe it was, and in the second half ended up letting Arizona come back and win that game. With that loss and Dallas win on Saturday night, the Eagles literally handed the NFC East to Dallas. Right now, Dallas is sitting at number 1, and Philly is sitting at number 2 in the division. All Dallas have to do is win next week at Washington, and we lock up the NFC East. In the NFC, San Francisco has locked up the #1 seed. Dallas is sitting at #2. Philly in the NFC is sitting at #5. And I know I said last week and prior weeks that Philly probably would win the NFC East, but no one saw a loss to Arizona this weekend. I certainly didn't. And that ended up opening the door for Dallas to win the NFC East, which I expect they would do next week. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. As always, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like I said, I will be back next week to do a post analysis on the Dallas-Washington game. Happy New Year's, everybody, and talk to you next week.